of Samuel Lajoie. Kyle Dingwall in the 66 goes away on the inside of row number 3. RJ Tressider from out of Edwards, New York in the 21R goes away on the outside of row number 3. We'll see Samuel Charlin from out of Victoriaville, Quebec inside of row number 4 with the 41. It's the Thrill Jackson Gill in the 60 on the outside of that 4th row. And rounding out the field from out of Cornwall, Ontario in the 88J, it's Justin Sear. 10 laps will be the distance. Top 5 qualify. Top 2 to the redraw. We will send them around one more time. We're looking for a clean start at the Wired Audio Zone sign in turn number 4. It's going to be Gauvreau and Bernier bringing them around to kick off day number 3. Canadian Super Dirt Weekend from St. Lawrence Radiology. Bernier on the pole, Gauvreau outside pole. Paul Priere got the green flag in hand at the Wired Audio Zone sign. Green's in the air. We are underway. Day 3, Canadian Super Dirt Weekend here at the Cornwall Motor Speedway as they go down the front stretch. Bernier and Gauvreau side by side through 1 and 2. Bernier finds something down at the bottom. He's going to pull away down the backstretch. Oh, we got big contact on the backstretch. The Thrill Jackson Gill in the 60 coming together with RJ Tressider in the 21R, and Tressider looks a little worse for wear out of that one. And it looks like the right front took the brunt of that punishment. And we've got a replay on it here, guys. We see down the backstretch, look towards the back of the field, and you can see the contact right there on the outside. Dingwall pushed up and right into Tressider, and Gill with nowhere to go just avoided it and went around the outside. So we're going to line them up again. Tressider will take it pit side and have the car looked at. So we're going to try this again at the Wired Audio Zone sign in turn number 4. Green comes out onto the field. We're green again. Down the front stretch they go. Gauvreau's going to try to work that top side with the 22C. Bernier, very strong run last night here in the JLB Heating and Cooling 358 Modified Division. Started on the pole for the 50-lapper last night, but it was Sebastian Goujon taking the feature win last evening. Bernier wants to get into the redraw. Again, top 5 qualified, top 2 to the redraw. They'll bring it around this time by the flag stand, put lap number 2 up on the board. There'll be 8 to go in the first of 5 qualifying heats here in the JLB Heating and Cooling 358 Modified Division. Mario Claire up to 2nd, Gauvreau back to 3rd with the 22C. Kyle Dingwall and Samuel Charlin in the 66 and the 41 holding on to the 2 last transfers to the big dance. Jackson Gill traveled all the way from Oswego. He wants to get into the dance right off the bat. He doesn't want to have to go to a concede. As Bernier running away with this one. Lap 4 up on the board. There'll be 6 to go this time by. Al Bernier stretching out that lead down the backstretch with the 1 star. Then it's Mario Claire with the 124 in 2nd. He's got the final redraw spot. Al Bernier continues to stretch out that lead. He's almost out to a 2-second lead at the halfway point. It'll be lap 6 this time by with 4 to go. Mario Claire locked in 2nd into the redraw all alone. Then it's Gauvreau in the 22C in 3rd. Dingwall 4th. Samuel Charlin holding on to the final transfer spot in 5th. With 2 laps to go. Correction, 3 to go. 7 up on the board. Bernier brings it around. We show 2 laps to go in the first of 5 qualifying heats here in the JLB Heating and Cooling 358 Modifieds. This time White will go out onto the field. Bernier all alone in front. He's got it on cruise control. 2 corners to go. And the checkered flag will go into the air. First heat goes to Steve Bernier. Super Mario Claire finishes second in the 124. They go to the redraw. Then it's Cedric Govro, 22C, Kyle Dingwall, 66, and the 41 is Samuel Charlin. All go to the dance. Jackson Gill and the rest will have to go to a B main coming up a little bit later on. And Robert, they're getting it done here again on day number 3. Heat number 2, we've got some heavy hitters and some winners already this weekend in this heat.
Thank you, Huey. Heat number 2 brought to you by Eastern Sign Services, rolling out onto the racetrack. It's our 2025 track champion, Corey Wheeler, on the pole in the 47S. Is outside the mailman, the 124J of Luke Whitaker. Our number 2, it's Spider-Man, the 44G of Sebastian Goujon, to his outside, the 77E of Ryan Stabler. Inside row number 3, the 18JR of Louis Jackson Jr. alongside the 15B of Brianna Lattiser, the 36 of Chantal Provencher, the 13 of Kevin Amell, and the 4K of Elliot Gamache, bringing up the rear of the field as we come to the green flag this time. Running away in heat number 2 is Chantal Provencher, going to get kicked sideways. Caution flag going to fly. We'll re-rack, restack, and do that one all over again. So top 5 advance to the A main, top 2 to the redraw. As we're going through turns number 3 and 4. Come to the green flag this time. We're back underway. Corey Wheeler going to lead the charge through turns number 1 and 2 as Ryan Stabler gets to the high side of Luke Whitaker. Stabler up to that second spot. Whitaker back to third. Goujon holding on to that 4th spot with Louis Jackson Jr. in the 5th and final transfer as Stabler slides up. Whitaker took a peek down to the bottom side of him. Some contact there between Brianna Lattiser and Kevin Amell. Amell not giving much space down on the bottom side to that 15B as they work their way down the back stretch. Chantal Provencher sends it in deep on Elliot Gamache. Gamache going to have a wheel hop over that 36 machine as they're still door to door at the back of the pack, but out front it's all Corey Wheeler as he heads down the back straight away with a half straight lead over second place Ryan Stabler. The 47S on the move here in this one as we knock 3 laps off the boards. 7 laps to go. Wheeler, Stabler, those are your redraw cars. Whitaker, Goujon, and Jackson currently transferring to the A main as Louis Jackson Jr. hops to the high side of Sebastian Goujon. Goujon down on the bottom as they come off turn number 4 down the front straightaway. Goujon, Jackson still wheel to wheel, door to door as they work their way through 1 and 2, headed down the back stretch. Jackson using that high side, gets himself a bit of a run as they navigate through turns number 3 and 4. Once again, Corey Wheeler comes around. He'll see the cross flags. 5 in, 5 to go for the Pat Les Chip Stands 47S Corey Wheeler. As Kevin Amell trying to close in on Sebastian Goujon with just 4 laps to go. Amell currently on the outside looking in, as well as Lattiser, Gamache, and Provencher. As we've got 4 laps to go here in heat race number 2, brought to you by Eastern Sign Services. It's all Corey Wheeler out front as now Louis Jackson Jr. closes in on Luke Whitaker. He took a peek to the high side, went a little bit too high that time in the Firehouse Pizzeria ride. They'll fall back into position number 4 as once again going to try to charge down the backstretch as Paul's popped the freezer open. The popsicle sticks are in the air. 2 flags up, 2 laps to go for Corey Wheeler. As Wheeler heads down the back straightaway, gonna get set to come to the white flag this time. Sebastian Goujon closing in on Louis Jackson Jr. as the top 5 have completely separated themselves from the rest of the pack as the white flag's out. 1 lap to go for Wheeler. Headed down the back straightaway, Corey Wheeler, the 2025 track champion, looking to start the 3rd and final night of Canadian Super Dirt Weekend on the right foot. And he will, as he'll see the checkered flag. Heat number 2 goes to Wheeler. Stabler 2nd at the line. Louis Jackson Jr. comes in 3rd. Luke Whitaker 4th, and Spider-Man Sebastian Goujon gonna round out the transfer cars. Kevin Amell, Brianna Lattiser, Elliot Gamache, and Chantal Provencher headed to the Consi, but it's Wheeler and Stabler headed to the redraw.
Well, Tommy, that was a tough heat. All 3 quick times for the weekend were in that heat. Corey Wheeler, Sebastian Goujon, and Luke Whitaker. and they've all won their heats in each of those days. You've got another big heat here with the great Canadian champion David Hébert.
Troisième qualification pour les modifiés. On a vu Louis Jackson Jr. là, dans la qualification précédente est en mesure de faire fonctionner le milieu et l'extérieur du circuit pour prendre 2 positions. Voyons voir dans celle-ci David Hébert et Martin Pelletier. Fuller, Maresca, Stearns, Cook, Ferguson et McFarlane. Dominic Hammond. Au départ, on est parti. Martin Pelletier par l'extérieur vient prendre la première place devant Hébert. Pelletier mène le premier tour. Hébert deuxième. Mike Maresca est au 3e rang. L'extérieur commence à fonctionner. Le Maresca en mesure de revenir sur Hébert pour la 2e position. Un autre tour mené pour celui qui est surnommé le Smooth Operator, Martin Pelletier. Maresca très au large. Elle revient rapidement là, derrière Hébert. On a une lutte pour la 4e place entre Fuller et Stearns. Shane Stearns est maintenant 4e devant Lucas Fuller. Mike Maresca rapide. Côte à côte avec Hébert pour la 2e position, virage 3 et 4. Hébert demeure 2e alors qu'à l'avant c'est toujours Martin Pelletier qui mène. Chassé croisé, Maresca plonge à l'intérieur, vient prendre la 2e place. Mike Maresca maintenant 2e devant Hébert. Pelletier toujours en tête à la mi-course. Martin Pelletier qui mène maintenant le 6e passage à Mike Maresca. David Hébert et Shane Stearns. Maresca là, qui a roulé sous les 16 secondes au cours du dernier tour. Il reste maintenant 3 tours. Peut-il aller chercher Martin Pelletier? Pilote de Baldwinsville, New York, Mike Maresca, à 2 tours de l'arrivée maintenant. Pelletier et Maresca, les 2 premiers vont à la pige. Est-ce que Maresca est en mesure d'aller chercher Pelletier? On surveille également le Shane Stearns, qui s'est rapproché grandement de David Hébert. Drapeau blanc dans les mains du signaleur. On est au dernier tour. Maresca à l'intérieur, s'amène. Virage numéro 3. Plonge à l'intérieur de Pelletier. Et c'est Martin Pelletier qui résiste. Vient chercher la victoire dans cette qualification. Mike Maresca s'en va à la pige. David Hébert, Shane Stearns et Lucas Fuller sont qualifiés pour la grande finale. Et donc dire que Thomas Cook, Jonathan Ferguson, Gavin McFarlane et Walter Hammond Jr. devront passer par les consolations.
Well, Tommy, another lap or two, and I think Michael Maresca might have had something for Martin Pelletier there as we are getting set to roll out heat number 4. We'll see 5-time track champion, the 66X of Kerry Terrence from out of Akwesasne, leading them out off the pole. Joey Ladisser in the 23, just back from Oswego, where his son Tristan was running in the Sportsman division down there. He'll go outside pole. Daryl Fairway from out of Hamilton in the 53. Maxime Plante in the 79. Mikel Lebreche in the 99. Matt Woodruff in the 55. And Casey Swamp in the 44S. They'll be shown white this time as we are missing the 08 of Chris Ferguson, not making the call for his heat. If he decides to come out later, he'll have to go from B main and take his chances there. As we see Kerry Terrence down the back stretch with Joey Ladisser. They're your pole sitters. They'll bring him around. We're looking for a clean start at the Wired Audio Zone sign in turn number 4. Paul Prieur looks him over, green flag in hand. Green is in the air. We are underway, heat number 4. 10 laps is the distance, and they stack them up. right on the front stretch. And that's not the way they wanted to start this heat. Again, Kerry Terrence spun around and into the wall, and Woodruff right there as well with the 55. Well, we got the replay here, guys, as they're coming hard right out of it. Kerry cuts across, gets into the front of Joey Ladouceur, and we see the contact here. Kerry pushed up the track. It is dry and slick. Joey with nowhere to go, and actually even backed off a little bit. And Woodruff, again, middle of the pack, nowhere to go. And we look at this, guys, right there. Kerry pushed right up the track, and basically Joey had no choice but to make some contact.
That's exactly it. There was nowhere for Joey Ladouceur to go on that incident. Kerry Terrence slides up, like you said, and like we saw here on FloRacing, and ends up backwards over in turn number 1. He's going to go up on the hook as well, so not the start he was hoping for here on night number 3 of Canadian Super Weekend.
I know when I interviewed Kerry on Friday night after the win, he said he liked that car. It was his Cornwall car, and it had done well for him the last couple of seasons. I think they're probably getting the backup car ready out of the trailer now, which means he'll have to go from a concede to get into the big dance. And of course, everyone wants into this one. A chance at $10,000, 100 lapper. It's a big race, and Kerry's won those big races many times here. Again, we mentioned 5-time track champion. Nobody else has done it. We've only got 4 other people that have done it 4 times as a track champion. Corey Wheeler, the latest to do it, our 2025 track champion. And in the 56 years at the Cornwall Motor Speedway, 4 drivers have done it 4 times. Kerry's the only one to do it 5, and that's why we call him the King of Cornwall.
It's pretty impressive what Kerry's done in his career here at the Cornwall Motor Speedway, and still many years to go for that 66X team, as he's not ready yet, Huey.
No, he's not even as old as I am, so he's got some more time.
Well, it's going to take some time to get fixed up and get back out here for the Consi a little bit later on. I don't believe he has a provisional to use, but I may be wrong on that. We gave a few out throughout the year, and if there was one on a night Kerry's here, chances are he probably got one.
I know we'll have Martin Belanger and Matt working on it. They'll tell us if there was a provisional. If not, again, I believe Kerry will throw the backup car out there, and they'll do some tinkering with it, Tommy. And he's got a pretty good crew. He's got the best crew chief in dirt in Chris Hearn, so I'm sure Chris is down there just getting everything all fired up for the boys.
That's what I wanted to say. He has the best crew chief.
Well, we have his hero card up here in the tower. We have the Chris Hearn hero card, the best crew chief in dirt. That's right. The only other hero card we have is Ryan Stabler. He autographed it for us, and of course his boyhood hero was Corey Wheeler. That's what it says right on the card.
Well, and Huey, I just confirmed with Matt, Kerry Terrence does have a provisional, so he's guaranteed to start here tonight in the feature. He might opt to skip the Consi altogether.
Well, there's that. In other words, he said he liked the Cornwall car. If it's just a little bit of damage to the front, they'll fix that, forego the Consi, because again, you're going to start probably 25th, 26th, or further back anyway. So what's a couple of spots with a provisional where you don't have to go out there and bang around on a B main?
That's it. And realistically, the best he could start going through a Consi is 21st anyways. So, like you said, not worth risking it potentially, and we'll see what they do. I can see the crew already getting set down there. We'll see if they pull a backup out. I know they have a few of those. So,
well, we see Matt Woodruff being towed off as well. He'll head pit side, and we are getting set to go green. It's Joey Ladouceur and Fairway bringing him around. Fairway in the 53 on the top side from out of Hamilton, Ontario. He's going to go door to door with Joey Ladouceur down the backstretch. Ladouceur outbreaks through 3 and 4 and takes the lead here on lap number 1 of heat number 4, JLB Heating and Cooling 358 modified qualifying session. Again, 10 laps is the distance. Top 5 qualify. So all 5 remaining out there will qualify, but they're fighting for who gets the redraw spots. Right now, Joey Ladisser and Fairway have those redraw spots. Now we'll see Casey Swamp with a move down to the inside with a 44. He's trying to get inside Maxime Plante. He's trying to improve his starting position as well. Mikel Lebrecht hanging on to position number 5, and that is a transfer spot. So misfortune for others is good news for Mikel Lebrecht as he goes right to the big dance later on. As this time by, Joey Ladisser will bring it around. He'll put it at the halfway point. It'll be 5 in, 5 to go here in heat number 4 of the JLB Heating and Cooling 358 Modified Division. Ladisser smooth down the backstretch. He's going to put another lap on the board this time by. They are now past the halfway point. This is lap 6, 4 to go. Joey Ladisser pulling away. He's got a 2.5 second lead over Fairway. 2.7 seconds now as Ladisser, again, just coming back from Oswego today. He was probably the crew chief down there at Oswego for Tristan Ladisser, his son, who ran in the Sportsman division. And I know, Joey, it's going to feel good to get back behind the steering wheel as he'll bring it around this time. Lap number 8 will go up on the board with 2 laps to go in heat number 4. Again, Joey Ladisser leading Fairway in second with the 53. Then it's Maxime Plante, the 79, third. Casey Swamp is 4th. Mikel Lebrecht 5th. And it'll probably finish that way unless Plante can charge to the inside on Fairway and get in for the final redraw spot. He's making a drive for it. It'll be all Joey Ladisser here. He's almost got a 5-second lead over second place. Ladisser takes the 4th heat in the 23. Fairway finishes second. Takes the second redraw spot out of heat number 4. Maxime Plante will finish 3rd with the 79. Casey Swamp with the 44S, 4th. And Mikel Lebrecht will round out the top 5, and they all transfer to the big race later on. Heat number 5, JLB Heating and Cooling 358 Modifieds. Robert, you got the call for us.
Heat number 5 going to roll out onto the racetrack here in a moment, and we just got a little bit of insider info here, Huey. Sounds like Kerry Terrence pulling the backup out of the trailer. As actually looking over, you can see it rolling out now. So Kerry Terrence going to go to the backup here tonight as we get set for heat number 5. Rolling off on the pole in the 151 KB, it's Brian Slim McDonald into his outside, the 91 of Felix Waugh. Run number 2, the 94 of Gabriel Sear alongside the 18 of Kalen Draper. The high side hustler Tristan Draper starting in the 5th spot in car number 17. To his outside, the 35R of William Racine. Little Walter J. Hammond in the 98H going to start in 7th, and the General Lee Ladisser in the 88 starting in the 8th spot. So top 5 transfer, top 2 to the redraw. As the field works their way into turns number 3 and 4, going to be coming to the green at the Wired Audio Zone sign at the bottom of turn number 4. Green flags out, we're underway. McDonald leads the way into turn number 1, but Hollywood is right there with him as Felix Waugh drops down to the bottom. Waugh going to make the move. He's your new leader into turn number 3 as McDonald going to fire back nose to tail off at turn number 4 as they head down the front straightaway. Felix Waugh leads. Brian McDonald second. Gabriel Sear, William Racine, and Kalen Draper. Currently your transfer cars is Tristan Draper, Lee Ladisser, and Walter J. Hammond on the outside looking in. As we'll come around this time, put the first 2 up on the boards, 8 laps to go. Walter J. Hammond looking to the backside of Tristan Draper as they head down the back straightaway. Hammond trying to work himself up into that 6th position. The first car on the outside looking in. As out front here in this one, Felix Waugh got the lead. in the opening couple of corners and has not looked back, starting to separate himself a little bit further from Brian Slim McDonald. Over a second gap now between those two drivers. 0.3 of a second quicker last time for Felix Waz. They'll come around, gonna put cross flags in the air. Gonna be 5 in, 5 to go for Felix Waz. As they head down the back stretch, going to be 4 laps to go this time. Felix Waz, Brian McDonald, Gabriel Sear, William Racine, and Kalen Draper currently in the transfer spots. Tristan Draper, Walter Hammond, Lee Lattiser on the outside of this one, looking in, trying to gain a little bit more as Tristan catching up to Kalen down the back straightaway this time. We're going to come around next time by. We'll have the popsicle sticks in the air. 7 in, 3 to go for Hollywood. Felix Waz. As Waz, fresh off a good run down at Oswego in his 358 modified just a couple of days ago. Leading the way here in qualifying heat number 5 on night number 2 of the Canadian Super Dirt Weekend. Brought to you by St. Lawrence Radiology and Splash Well Drilling. As Waz gonna head through turns number 3 and 4. He's gonna come around and see the white flag. White flag's in the air. 1 lap to go for Felix Waz. Waz through turns number 1 and 2 this time. Brian McDonald holding on a second as Gab Sear tries to close in on him, but through 3 and 4 for the final time. We're going to come off of 4 and see the checkered flag. It's Hollywood. Felix Waz going to take the top spot. Brian McDonald going to join him in the redraw. Gabriel Sear, William Racine, and Kalen Draper headed to the A main. Has some smoke out the back of the 151 KB. We'll see what happens with that as Tristan Draper, Walter J. Hammond, and the General Lee Lattiser headed to the Consi.
Well, Tommy, a little bit of smoke out of the back of Brian Slim McDonald's car right at the end of that heat. They always say it runs the best and the fastest right before the big boom. Hopefully that's not the case for Brian, but we've got to say the Eastern Sign Services, Steve Bernier, Corey Wheeler, Martin Pelche, Joey Lattiser, Felix Waz, all taking their heats in the JLB Heating and Cooling 358 Modified Division. Next Level Home Improvement Sportsman Heat. Tommy, you got call for number 1.
Merci beaucoup, Hugh. Première qualification du côté des Sportsmen, présenté par Barge Builders Canada. C'est Kevin Napoliquin qui va partir au premier rang, lui qui a fait le tour le plus rapide des temps chronométrés au cumulatif. On est parti. Attention là, devant l'estrade. Au 35 là, de Moore là, qui était au ralenti. Par la suite, Daphné Hébert et voiture 55 de Daniel Reeve qui ont été impliqués. On va espérer qu'on n'ait pas de dommages sur les 2 voitures. On voit la reprise sur FloRacing, ce qui s'est passé. La voiture 35 là, qui a vraiment là, levé le pied et malheureusement là, les compétiteurs derrière lui qui étaient à pleine vitesse n'ont pas été en mesure de freiner. Daphné Hébert qui l'a percuté. Par la suite, on a eu la voiture de 55 Daniel Reeve là, qui a été impliqué également. Daniel Reeve là, qui est allé se placer aux côtés de Dylan Moore pour lui montrer son mécontentement. Yannick Sylvestre là, qui rejoint le peloton, lui qui a eu toutes sortes de difficultés à faire démarrer la voiture tout à l'heure, n'a pas été en mesure de faire des temps lors des temps chronométrés. Le verre est donné, on est reparti. Cette fois-ci, c'est bon. Poliquin et Moore. Virage 1 et 2. Dylan Moore, solide à l'extérieur, revient là, tout juste devant Poliquin. Toujours côte à côte, virage 3 et 4 à l'arrière. On se bouscule pour l'intérieur du circuit. Reef avec Desrosiers et Beauregard. Dylan Moore qui mène devant Kevin Poliquin, Carl Potvin, troisième Daphné Hébert au quatrième rang. Les 4 premiers seront qualifiés directement à la finale. Les 2 premiers s'en vont à la pige. Qualification présentée par Barge Builders Canada. Dylan Moore, Kevin Poliquin, Carl Potvin, Daphné Hébert, toujours les 4 premiers. Reef et Desrosiers là, qui veulent aller chercher l'importante 4e position, donnant accès directement à la finale. Dylan Moore qui continue de mener l'épreuve, creuse l'écart sur Poliquin. Potvin, 3e, s'est éloigné de Daphné Hébert qui, elle, a de la pression là, par 2 pilotes, Desrosiers et Reef. Reef prend l'avantage sur Desrosiers. Peut-il utiliser l'extérieur maintenant pour passer devant Daphné Hébert? Deux tours à faire maintenant dans cette qualification. Reef toujours à l'extérieur. Hébert en mesure de garder sa 4e place. On sort le drapeau blanc et au dernier tour pour Dylan Moore. Kevin Poliquin, 2e. Carl Potvin, 3e rang. Il faut vraiment surveiller la 4e position. Dylan Moore va se présenter. La courbe numéro 4 viendra remporter cette qualification. Du côté des Sportsman, Kevin Poliquin s'en va à la pige également. Carl Potvin et Daphné Hébert qualifiés directement pour la finale. C'est donc dire que Daniel Reef, Justin Desrosiers, Brian Tarbell, Danick Sylvestre, Brendan Beauregard et Dennis Rose devront passer par les consolations sur 55 là, de Dan Reef là, qui est vraiment furieux là, contre Dylan Moore. Déjà des flamèches, première qualification du côté des Sportsmen, présentée par Barge Builders Canada.
Well, and a good weekend continues for Dylan Moore, taking the Canadian Barge Builders Quick Time Heat Award in Sportsman Heat number 1. Heat number 2 set to roll out onto the track. We'll see Jeff Beaumier in the 43 from out of Trois-Rivières going away on the inside pole. Frederick Scott in the 88S will go away on the outside pole. Brendan Moore from out of Elgin, Ontario, inside of row number 2 in the 35B. David Andre in the Fix Auto ride from out of Long Sault on the outside of that second row. Garen Thompson in the one from out of Akwesasne. 17M of Matty Wallace from out of Richmond, Ontario. Justin Lazore from out of Akwesasne in the 74 inside the 4th row. Damian King in the 80D from Sealy's Bay on the outside of row number 4. Mark Bulleris from Saint-Cécile-de-Milton, Quebec in the 9X. And Robbie Harper from out of Morrisburg in the 69R. Green comes out onto the field. 8 laps is the distance. Top 4 qualify. Top 2 to the redraw. Everybody else will go into one of 2 B mains coming up a little bit later on, as the car count right up there. 57 entries for the Next Level Home Improvement Sportsman Division here on day number 3 of Canadian Super Dirt Weekend, courtesy of St. Lawrence Radiology, as Beaumier continues to lead this one down the backstretch through 3 and 4 past the flag stand. Lap number 2 will go up onto the board. There'll be 6 to go this time by. Top 4 transfer, top 2 to the redraw. Beaumier and Frederick Scott in the 88S hold on to those 2 spots. Brendan Moore and David Andre hold on to the transfer spots in 3rd and 4th. Brendan Moore would love to get up into 2nd and join his brother in the redraw spot. He just won the first heat, did Dylan Moore in the Next Level Home Improvement Sportsman Division. Beaumier puts another lap up on the board halfway through. 4 in, 4 to go. Heat number 2 of 6 here in the Next Level Home Improvement Sportsman qualifying heats. Beaumier, one more time around. Lap number 5 up onto the board. There'll be 3 to go this time by. Beaumier, Frederick Scott in the 88S hanging on to second. Brendan Moore right there in third, looking for some type of mistake from Scott. David Andre hanging on to fourth, but Garen Thompson closing quickly from fifth onto the back bumper of David Andre, looking for any kind of opening he can get. And Garen Thompson running with the big guys, started in our novice Sportsman at the beginning of the season and has really turned it around here, and he's earned his spot here on this big weekend as Beaumier showing the white flag one more time around. Down the back stretch for the final time, through 3 and 4, past the wired audio zone sign in turn number 4. Checkered flag in the air this time. 43 of Jeff Beaumier takes heat number 2. Frederick Scott takes the redraw spot, the final redraw spot in the 88S. Brendan Moore will finish third. David Andre will finish fourth on the 98. They get the transfer spots. Garen Thompson, Justin Lazor, Matty Wallace, Damian King, Mark Bulleris, and Robbie Harper all have to go to a B main coming up a little bit later on. But it's Jeff Beaumier taking the Canadian Barge Builders Quick Time Award for Sportsman Heat number 2. Robert, you got the call of Heat number 3.
Thank you, Huey. Getting set for heat number 3, rolling out onto the racetrack. Driving car number 338 on the pole. It's Pascal Payer. Into his outside in the 51. It's Brian Preville. For number 2 in the 09X, it's Alex Fortier. And to the outside, the 95 JR of Jacob Nadeau. Fortier has not yet left the staging area, so now going to roll on out. Row number 3, the 15K of Kent Miller alongside the 3KL of Kevin Latendre. Row number 4, the D1 of Patrick DeLille alongside the M70 of Billy Cook. And rounding out the field, the 97 of Josiane Plant.
Well, Robert, you don't see that too often, do you,
No.
Tommy? Your competitor giving you a push start to help you at the start line.
A little sportsmanship right there, helping out the fellow competitor for sure.
That's not how you want to pass a competitor, so you want to beat him on the track.
Kent Miller going to come around and take his spot on the inside of row number 3 as we'll get set to go here for this one. Bayer and Preville on the front row as we work our way through turns number 3 and 4. Going to come to the white flag this time. As we get set to come to the green flag this time at the wired audio zone sign. Green flag's out, we're underway. Top 2 to the redraw, top 4 to the big dance as we work our way through turns number 1 and 2. Pascal Payer leads the way as Brian Preville up on the high side of Alex Fortier. Fortier gonna clear now, looking to take that spot from Payer for the top position, but Preville gonna battle back down on the bottom. Jacob Nadeau side by side with Kent Miller for the final transfer position here, lap number 1. Gonna go to Payer as Nadeau up on the high side. He's got something cooking up there as Nadeau side by side with Preville. Preville on the bottom, Nadeau up top. Brian Preville gonna clear as Jacob Nadeau takes a look up to the high side once again through turns 1 and 2. Kent Miller right there as well. He's gonna try to battle his way forward as Patrick DeLille, Kevin Latendre, Josiane Plant, and Billy Cook bringing up the rear of the field. As next time by, we'll come to the halfway point. Going to be 4 in, 4 to go for Pascal Payer. As Payer heads through turns number 3 and 4, coming around this time. Paul's got the cross flags in the air. It's 4 in, 4 remaining for the 338 of Pascal Payer out front. Alex Fortier in that second spot as Jacob Nadeau going to fall back into the 5th spot. Is Kent Miller going to get by him? Miller works his way up into a transfer just behind Brian Preville in the 51 as they come down the front straightaway once again, nose to tail. Preville and Miller with Nadeau right there as well. Miller sticks the nose down to the bottom side of Brian Preville. Preville up top. Popsicle stick's gonna come in the air this time. It's 2 up, 2 to go for Pascal Bayer in the 338 as the battle for the final transfer heats up. Nadeau looks to the bottom of Miller as they come down the back straightaway, coming to the white flag this time. White flag is in the air, 1 lap to go here in heat number 3 for the Next Level Home Improvement Sportsman, brought to by Canada Barge Builders. As Bayer gonna come through turns number 3 and 4 this time, he'll see the checkered flag. Pascal Bayer gonna take the top spot. Alex Fortier gonna join him in the redraw. Brian Preville and Kent Miller gonna advance directly to the big show, with Miller beating out Nadeau right at the line. Nadeau, DeLille, Laton, Blunt, and Cook headed to the Consi. That's heat number 3 here. Tommy, you're gonna have heat number 4 of 6.
Quatrième qualification du côté des Sportsmen, toujours une présentation de Barge Builders Canada. On va partir au premier rang. Dans la voiture numéro 03, c'est Josh Jock. Deuxième au départ, on aura Jeffrey Lapalme. Troisième, Trey Ladouceur. À ses côtés, on aura Travis Bruno à 4e position. 5e au départ, Sean Lefebvre dans la voiture 58J. Sam Bédard va partir 6e. Nick Mallette, Patrick Kudrinko et Christopher Cordeau au départ. 9 voitures, 8 tours. Les 4 premiers qualifiés, les 2 premiers à la pige. On est parti! Joshua Jock garde la première position devant Jeffrey Lapalme. Ladouceur et Bruno en lutte pour la 3e place, alors que Jock mène le premier tour. Jock qui mène le 2e tour devant Lapalme et Ladouceur. Ladouceur maintenant se pointe à l'intérieur de Lapalme, virage numéro 3. Léger contact entre les 2 voitures. Lapalme demeure 2e devant Trey Ladouceur. 2e position est importante, parce qu'elle donne accès à la pige. On est à la mi-course, 4 tours de compléter, 4 tours à faire pour le pilote de Hogansburg, New York, Joshua Jock. Travis Bruno est 4e avec Sam Bédard tout juste derrière. 5 tours de compléter, 3 tours à faire maintenant. On roule les drapeaux. Drapeau blanc, dernier tour maintenant pour la voiture 03. Jock qui mène depuis le premier tour devant Jeffrey Lapalme et Trey Ladouceur. Sean Lefebvre derrière là, qui s'est presque retourné, a repris le contrôle de la voiture. Joshua Jock qui remporte cette qualification chez les Sportsmen, la 4e devant Jeffrey Lapalme. Au 3e rang, c'est Trey Ladouceur et Travis Bruno est qualifié pour la finale. Sam Bédard, Sean Lefebvre, Nick Mallette, Christopher Gordo et Patrick Kudrinko devront passer par les consolations.
Well, heat number 5 set to roll out onto the track. Next Level Home Improvement Sportsman Division. And the gentleman leading them out on the pole is going for the three-peat this evening. It'll be the 88Z of Bobby Harrington leading him off the pole. Marco Poirier in the 33X outside pole. Carl Latondra, Mr. Worldwide, will go away on the inside of row number 2 in the 8KL. Raphael Goujon, Spider Kid in the 44, goes away on the outside of row number 2. Matt Barber in the 16, inside of row number 3. On the outside, Sylvain Dupuis from Limoges On the outside of that third row, inside of row number 4, Felix Julien in the 15. Mario Jeunesse in the 3JC, and the FN 99 of Drake Cartier. From out of Cornwall, rounds out the field. 8 laps is the distance. Top 4 qualify, top 2 to the redraw. Right now it's Bobby Harrington leading the way. Carl Latondra up to second. Marco Poirier drops back a spot into third. And Matt Barber with a drive down on the inside. He'll pick up fourth. He will transfer if it can finish that way, as Goujon and Dupuis on the outside looking in with the 44 and the 48, as Bobby Harrington starting to pull away with this one early on. Almost out to a full second lead already on lap number 2, as he will stretch it out down the backstretch this time. Carl Latondra in the 8KL in second. He's going to try to keep Bobby Harrington in tow, as Marco Poirier and Matt Barber hang on to the transfer spots in third and fourth with the 33X and the 16. Bobby Harrington will put another lap up on the board. We're at the halfway already in heat number 5. 4 in, 4 to go for Bobby Harrington, leading the way in the 88Z. Carl Latondra in the 8KL hanging on a second. They've got the redraw spots. The worst they can start is 12th if they can get into that redraw. Matt Barber makes a move as Poirier pushes up the track. Barber into third. And here comes Goujon down on the bottom. Spider Kid to the inside, takes away the spot from Marco Poirier. Goujon into the dance if they can finish this way, with 2 to go this time by for Bobby Harrington. 6 up on the board, 8 is the distance. Harrington down the backstretch one more time. He'll bring it through 3 and 4. Past the wired audio zone sign. The white flag is in the air. One more time around for Bobby Harrington. And qualifying heat number 5 here in the Next Level Home Improvement Sportsman Division. Harrington making it look easy as he brings it through 3 and 4 for the final time by the flag stand. Checkered flag is in the air. Bobby Harrington takes your Canadian Barge Builders 5th heat. Carl Latondra finishes second. He goes to the redraw with Harrington. Matt Barber will finish third. And Goujon in the 44 will finish 4th. They transfer to the big dance. Dupuis, Poirier, Jeunesse, Julien, and Cartier all will go to a B main coming up just before the intermission. And we've got one more heat to go, Robert, and one more Canadian Barge Builders heat award to give away to the winner of heat number 6.
Heat number 6 rolling on to the racetrack. Starting on the pole out of Moores Forks, New York, is the 19 of Jamie Begor. To his outside out of Canton, New York, the 1W of Kyle Reeve. Inside row number 2 out of Akwesasne, New York, it's the 9 of Christian Smoke. And to the outside out of Glen Robertson, Ontario, the 37 of Marco McCarthy. Adam Rosa out of Castleman, Ontario, drives car number 3. He's going to start 5th alongside Farnham, Quebec's Patrick Legoux in the 96. Dominic Merkley out of Prescott in the 98H. Kyle Kodrinko out of Westport. And Dalen Izard out of Cornwall, rounding out the field as the green flag's out. We're underway. Jamie Begor going to lead the way into turn number 1 and 2 as Kyle Reeve steps off the racetrack. He's going to be facing the wrong direction as the yellow flag going to fly. We'll restart this one, re-rack, restack, try it all over again as Kyle Reeve goes for a spin at the top of turn number 2. So Kyle Reeve gets it fired up. He's going to join the field. So going to have to shuffle the lineup a little bit here. Kyle Reeve going to have to go to the rear of the field as the cause of that caution. So everyone else going to move forward Bit of contact to the back there between Kyle Kodrinko and Dalen Izard as they shuffle for position. We'll get set to go this time by. As field comes into turns number 3 and 4, come to the wired audio zone sign. Green flag's out, we're underway. Bit of contact towards the rear of the field. Kyle Reef getting together with Patrick Legou as Kyle Kodrinko pushes up. He steps off, now he's gonna step right back on. Is Adam Rosa gonna fall out of one of those transfer spots? Dominic Merkley and Christian Smoke getting by him. Marco McCarthy up into that second redraw position behind Jamie Begor as Kyle Reef goes around in turn number 1. Kyle Kodrinko and Dalen Izard gonna step off the racetrack as the caution flag will fly once again. Taking a look at the FloRacing replay into turn number 1, watching that bit of contact there. Kyle Reef actually bounces over the left rear tire of Adam Rosa on that one. That brings him for a spin over in that first corner. He sent it way too deep on that one, and that brings out the caution for the second time here on lap number 1.
Well, on a regular track, you might be able to send it in like that, but when it's this dry and slick, you send it in that hard, it's not going to stick. You're going to bounce into some people, and well, he's the worse for the wear for it, and he's getting pushed to the pits by this safety bike. Not the way he wanted to end his night, but might be back for a concede.
He will likely be back for the concede as we're going to get set to go once again here. 1 lap in, 7 laps to go here in Canadian Barge Builders Heat Race number 6 for the Next Level Home Improvement Sportsman. Jamie Begor, Marco McCarthy leading us into turns number 3 and 4. We'll wave that one off and try all over again. So headed down the back straightaway into turns number 3 and 4, coming to the wired audio zone restart. Here we go. Once again, green flags out. Bit of contact into turn number 1. Christian Smoke and Marco McCarthy is up to the high side. Dominic Merkley looking for that 3rd spot as here comes Marco McCarthy down to the inside of Jamie Begor as they work their way off turn number 4 this time. Begor, McCarthy, Smoke, and Merkley. That's your top 4 as Adam Rosa going to send it down to the bottom side of that 98H as they work their way off turn number 2 this time. Down the back straightaway, Rosa on the bottom, Merkley up top. Little bit of contact into turn number 3 that time as Rosa battles back side by side for the lead. Marco McCarthy down on the bottom of Jamie Begor as they work their way off at turn number 2. Dominic Merkley going to go around after contact with Adam Rosa, and the caution going to fly here on lap number 3. So taking a look at the FloRacing replay, watching the 3 of Adam Rosa and the 98H of Dominic Merkley. Looks like tight quarters racing over in turns number 1 and 2. Merkley maybe a little bit out of shape there, making contact with Rosa. That's going to cause the spin.
There was inches there, guys, and Tommy, on that replay, it looks like a little bit of contact going into 1. They bumped a little, and then I think Merkley just got a little out of shape. The nose went underneath Rozo's car, but again, slick, dry track. We're going to see this type of racing, a little bit of bumping. And come the Pro Stocks, which are coming up next, it'll be a little different with those closed wheels. They don't tangle up quite as easily as the open wheels like the Modifieds and the Sportsmans do. So we're definitely going to see that rubbing is racing coming up with the Alexandria Home Hardware Pro Stock.
Yeah, it's easier for them to go side by side than a Modify and a Sportsman. But the track is slick right now, so maybe we'll see some cars get sideways more than usually.
Well, I know it was a bit of a problem last night, especially with qualifying. Everyone is going so hard with the car count so high. They've got to push it harder. Again, you need to get into the top 4 of your heat, and we're starting anywhere between 8 and 10 cars. So we're almost sending half a heat to a concede. So you got to get it done. You got to fight early. You got to fight for your space, and on a slick, dry track, there's not a lot of room, there's not a lot of passing. So if you got that opening, it might not be as big as what you want it to be, and well, maybe you can make it a little bit bigger.
And for most of the races, there's no points, so only the money. So you want to finish the most at the front.
Well, and that is the thing. I mean, there's no points on the line. Friday night, we crowned a Fat Less Chip Stand Canadian Nationals champion in the modified division. We claimed a Weekend Warrior champion mini stocks last night, so it was overalls. And tonight we are going to crown a PM Promotions Pro Stock Series 6 races. And this summer we got all 6 races in.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive that we were able to get all of the schedule in for that PM Promotions Pro Stock Series. As we come back to the green flag here in heat race number 6, down the front straightaway, Jamie Begor out to the race lead as Christian Smoke makes contact with Marco McCarthy. McCarthy up top. Now he's going to fall back 3 wide down the back straightaway, back to 2. Rozon McCarthy side by side as Adam Rozon going to squeeze his way up into that 3rd spot. Cross flags in the air. 4 in, 4 to go for Jamie Begor. The driver at Moores Forks, New York, leading the way as he heads down the back straightaway. Christian Smoke in the Grizzlies Cannabis Products number 9 car, trying to catch up to him and see what he can do to battle for that top spot. As Rozon holding on to 3rd, McCarthy in the 4th spot. Lagoo, Kadrinko, Merkley, Reef, and Izard, the drivers that are not currently in those transfer spots. Of course, Merkley went back to the pit area up on the hook. As we come around, it's going to be 2 up, 2 to go for Jamie Begor. As Begor heads down the back straightaway, Adam Rozon closing in on Christian Smoke. He would love to put himself in a redraw spot here tonight, and he's got 1 more lap to do it as the white flag's in the air. 1 lap to go for Jamie Begor. As Begor ventures down the back straightaway for the final time, Christian Smoke closing in on him as we come through turns number 3 and 4. Checkered flag is out. Jamie Begor taking the top spot. It's Christian Smoke 2nd, Adam Rozon 3rd, and Marco McCarthy in position number 4. He will transfer to the A main. Patrick Lagoo, Kyle Kadrinko, Dominic Merkley, Kyle Reef, and Dalen Izard gonna head to the consi. And that will do it for the Next Level Home Improvement Sportsman as we get set for the Alexandria Home Hardware Pro Stocks.
On va être prêt maintenant pour les qualifications. Du côté des Pro Stock, on a 4 qualifications. On va permettre aux équipiers là, de rejoindre le milieu du circuit pour s'assurer qu'on ait de l'équipement si jamais on a à faire un arrêt au puits lors des qualifications. Les 4 qualifications du côté des Pro Stock présentées par l'équipe de course Federley en mémoire de Nancy Federley.
Well, and Tommy, the 4 Pro Stock heats are sponsored by the Federley Race Team in memory of Nancy Federley. So the 4 heats, we will give you a name to go along with it. And of course, the Canadian Barge Builders had 6 in the Sportsman. It was Dylan Moore, Jeff Beaumier, Pascal Payet, Joshua Jock, Bobby Harrington, and Jamie Begor picked up those awards. Heat number 1, Tommy.
Première qualification donc pour les Pro Stock. Va partir au premier rang. Le 777 de Tommy Lizotte. À ses côtés, excellent temps lors des temps chronométrés pour Roxane Roy-Corr qui va partir deuxième. Derrière eux, on va voir Delbert Legros Jr. dans la voiture numéro 71 qui va partir troisième. Jocelyn Roy, vainqueur hier soir, partira quatrième. Roxane là, qui a devancé son père Jocelyn lors des temps chronométrés. Kevin Federley va partir cinquième. Jonathan Galipeau, Jean-Philippe Guy, Natacha Lebrun et Guy vient au départ. Faire et donner, Tommy Lizotte à l'extérieur, on est parti. Attention, on se bouscule derrière, presque 4 de large, virage numéro 1. Lizotte, Jocelyn Roy, très bon départ initial, le voilà maintenant deuxième. Jonathan Galipeau là, qui a fait un excellent départ, se retrouve maintenant troisième, lui qui partait au 6e rang. Tommy Lizotte qui menait l'épreuve hier avant de se retourner en piste. Très rapide présentement. C'est lui qui avait été le plus rapide au total tout à l'heure lors des temps chronométrés. Du côté des Pro Stock, remporté le bonus remis là, par PM Promotion. Un autre tour mené pour le pilote de la Pocatière, Tommy Lizotte dans le 777. Jocelyn Roy toujours deuxième. Derrière, on a Galipeau, Roxane Roy et Kevin Federley. Les 6 premiers sont qualifiés pour la finale. Les autres devront passer par un B-main. On est à la mi-course maintenant pour Tommy Lizotte. Kevin Federley maintenant qui se présente à l'intérieur de Roxane Roy pour la 4e position. Roy vient fermer la porte, elle qui met de la pression sur Galipeau pour la 3e position. Federley tente l'extérieur maintenant pour améliorer son sort sur le circuit. 2 tours à faire pour Lizotte, alors que derrière, Guy vient là, à l'intérieur de Jean-Philippe Guy. Très serré entre les 2 voitures. Guy veut fermer la porte, mais Guy vient de Saint-Mathias. Vient de passer, la voiture vient de Cornwall et Jean-Philippe Guy là, qui vient la percuter. Delbert Legros qui est impliqué également. Les 2 voitures là, qui s'arrêtent à l'intérieur du droit arrière. On doit sortir le jaune en piste. On va aller voir à la reprise ce qui s'est passé. On voit le contact entre la voiture 15 et le 115 à la sortie du virage numéro 2. De qui vient, qui était de travers, frappé à l'arrière par Jean-Philippe Guy. Dans le bord de la Gros, malheureusement, il n'avait nulle part où aller. Qui vient, là, qui est arrêté à l'intérieur toujours du doigt arrière. So guys, as of right now, who's leading the points for the PM Promotions series?
Leading the way, just basically the same as what he did all season long here at the Cornwall Motor Speedway. But of course, this was a 6-race series. 3 of them started over at Mohawk, and Mark Lalone leading the way, Denis Gauvreau in second, Jocelyn Roy with a big win last night. He's in third, Bastien Caron 4th, and Tommy Lizotte in 5th. So that's the PM Promotions top 5. And we've got Ian Brissett, Sid Harmer Jr., Zach Daniels, Bruno Sear, and Burton Ward are 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And three of the top 10 are missing this evening. But our regulars are here, of course, Marc Lalonde, Denis Gauvreau, Jocelyn Roy, Bastien Caron, and Tommy Lizotte. The top 5 are all here this evening. And again, that'll be a 40-lap feature for the Alexandria Home Hardware Pro Stocks. Coming up, that will be the final feature of the evening. That'll wrap up our summer here at the Cornwall Motor Speedway. And kind of fitting, again, this series started over at Mohawk International, 6-series race, and it's going to wrap up here at Cornwall.
On est prêt pour la relance. Marc Lalonde qui est le meneur dans la série promotion PM devant Denis Gauvreau. Les 5 premiers sont en piste ce soir. Bon départ pour Tommy Lizotte qui demeure au premier rang devant Jocelyn Roy. Surveille derrière. Kevin Federley maintenant se présente à l'intérieur de Jonathan Galipeau pour la 3e place. Galipeau 4e, Roxane Roy est au 5e rang. Et c'est ainsi que ça se termine. Tommy Lizotte qui remporte cette épreuve de qualification devant Jocelyn Roy, Kevin Federley, Jonathan Galipeau, Roxane Roy et Jean-Philippe Guy qui sont qualifiés directement pour la finale. C'est donc dire que d'Albert Legros, Natacha Lebrun et Guy Vien devront passer par le B-Main.
So heat number 2 of the PM Promotions Pro Stocks rolling out onto the racetrack. Leading them off from the pole, the 33 of Jonathan Levesque. Alongside him, the 72G of Denis Gauvreau. Or number 2, the 101 of Olivier Boisonneau alongside the 01 of Francois Adam. Or number 3, the 6 of Stéphane Lebrun. And to the outside, the 71B of Luc Perron. Or number 4, the 19 of Jonathan Vien. And the 27 of Bob Ray. That is your field here for heat number 2. Top 6 going to transfer into tonight's show. Top 3 going to go to the redraw as we work our way through turns number 3 and 4. Come to the green flag this time. Green flag's out, we're underway, and it's a wheel-to-wheel start for Levesque and Gauvreau as they work their way through turns number 1 and 2. Gauvreau on the bottom, Levesque up top as they head down the back straightaway for the first time. Still wheel-to-wheel, door-to-door for that top position. As Olivier Boisonneau holds on to position number 3, Levesque gonna fall back. Gauvreau gonna clear. Move Denis Gauvreau out to the lead, but Jonathan Levesque gonna fire back. That 32 has really found something this weekend. One of his best full weekend performances here at the Cornwall Motor Speedway. As Jonathan Levesque hammering the high side, gonna fall back now. Down to the inside of him, Olivier Boisonneau goes into position number 2. As they're still side by side for that second spot. Stéphane Lebrun down to the inside of Francois Adam. As Jonathan Vien holding on to the final transfer. Bob Ray and Luc Perron on the outside looking in. As we'll come around, put 3 laps on the boards, 5 laps to go. Here in heat race number 2 in the PM Promotions Pro Stock Series, brought to you by the Federley Race Team in memory of Nancy Federley. As it's Gauvreau, followed by Boisonneau, Levesque, Lebrun, Adam, and Vien. Those are your transfer cars, but Bob Ray closing in on that fight for the 6th and final transfer as Ray up to the back end of Jonathan Vien as they work their way down the back straightaway. Gonna come through turns number 3 and 4 this time. Gonna be 3 laps to go for Denis Gauvreau. Gauvreau and Boisonneau, as well as Stéphane Lebrun, currently in the redraw positions. Jonathan Levesque trying to fire back into one of those spots as he goes to the high side. He'll fall back right on the high side of Francois Adam, as Adam down to the bottom, Levesque up top, Vien holding on to position number 6 as we've got 2 laps to go. 2 in the air and 2 remaining for Denis Gauvreau. As Jonathan Levesque gonna fall off the racetrack. He'll come to a stop as the white flag's out. The caution flag gonna follow, so it's gonna be a 1-lap dash to finish up heat race number 2. Jonathan Levesque was in one of the transfer spots, was up in a redraw spot at one point, and is now fallen on the outside looking in as Bob Ray gonna move up into position number 6. So 7 in, 1 to go here in this second heat race as we'll re-rack, re-stack, get set to roll once again. As the field works its way into turns number 3 and 4, Danny Govro, Olivier Boisonneau coming to the green and white together. We're back on our way here in heat number 2 as Boisonneau up on the high side of Govro as they work their way through turns number 1 and 2 this time. Off of 2 and headed down the back straightaway, still door to door, wheel to wheel, into turns number 3 and 4. Govro on the bottom, Boisonneau up top, and off of turn number 4, checkered flag is out. Danny Govro takes the top spot. Olivier Boisonneau second, Steven Lebrun in third, Francois Adam fourth, Jonathan Vier in fifth, and by 4 1/1000ths of a second, Bob Ray gonna get the final transfer spot over Jonathan Levesque and Luc Barras. So Govro, Boisonneau, and Lebrun headed to the redraw as we get set for heat number 3. Huey, you got this one.
Heat number 3 of 4, Alexandria Home Hardware Pro Stocks. We see Jocelyn Waugh. He's joining, they're going to go back over to their pit. This is the first heat that is already qualified. They had to go over the scale. Heat number 3 is lined up outside the pit lane there, waiting to come out. It'll be Bastien Caron leading the way with the 73. He'll go way off the pole. It'll be Eric Jean-Louis from out of Castleman, Ontario, in the number 9, goes away on the outside pole. Rock Obey from out of Alexandria in the number 4, inside of row number 2. Blaine Nichols from out of Messina, New York, on the outside of that second row. Danny Vogel from St. Pie, Quebec in the 29, inside of row number 3. Ricky Thompson from out of Akwesasne on the outside of that third row. Justin Chaput from St. Pie, Quebec in the 38, inside the back row. And on the outside from out of Cornwall, Ontario, it's the 3 of Mike Gaucher. 8 laps will be the distance. Top 6 qualify. Top 3 to the redraw. Third of 4 heats here in the Alexandria Home Hardware Pro Stock Division. 33 entries this afternoon. Another great car count for the Alexandria Home Hardware Pro Stock Division. On a regular night, we'll run about 15 to 20 of these cars, and I think it's just about the same for you guys down in Quebec, Tommy. This is a pretty good pro stock car count. Green comes out onto the field as they go by the wired audio zone sign. Bastien Caron and Eric Jean-Louis bring them around. Down the backstretch they go. Jean-Louis found something on the top side. Bastien Caron comes back with the 73. A little touch going through 3 and 4 between Jean-Louis and Caron. And you can see all the smudges on the side of the 73. There was some rubbing and racing going on last night as well here in the Alexandria Home Hardware Pro. This time by Caron takes the lead. Eric Jean-Louis into second. Again, top 3 get the redraw. Vogel around in turn 4, rejoins the back of the field. He's going to take it pit side. And no, I think he might stop there. And Vogel looked like he was going to the pits and decided to go for a drive. And basically stopped there on the backstretch. Well, that'll put lap number 3 up on the board. There'll be 5 to go when we go back to green.
And you talk about the field in Quebec. In Granby, we have almost 20 cars all Friday night, so it's a pretty good field here for the weekend.
Well, like I said, any given Sunday night here, we'll run between 15 and 20 as well. When we run series races like this, we might get up to 25. But here we are with 33. We got to run a con seed, and that's a good problem to have when you throw together a weekend like this. Of course, this is year number 6 of the Canadian Super Dirt Weekend. Of course, brought to you by St. Lawrence Radiology and Splash Well Drilling. So Bastien Caron and Eric Jean-Louis will bring him around. Look for a clean start at the Wired Audio Zone sign in turn number 4. Green comes out onto the field, and there's 5 laps to go in heat number 3 of 4. The Alexandria Home Hardware Pro Stock Division. Eric Jean-Louis on the top side gets a good restart through 1 and 2, but Caron comes back down to the bottom. Outbreaks Jean-Louis into 3 and pulls that 73 into the lead. Eric Jean-Louis tucked in 2nd. Ricky Thompson holding on to 3rd. He's got the 3rd and final redraw spot. Rock Aubin on the outside looking in with the number 4 for the redraw spot. Top 6 will qualify. They are battling now for the 5th and 6th spot. Justin Chaput in the 38 and Blaine Nichols in the 22. As Vogel and Gaucher, they're on the outside looking in. They'll have to go to a B main if they can't get past either Nichols or Chaput. They'll bring it around by the flag stand this time. They'll be shown 2 more laps to go. 6 up on the board for Bastien Caron. Eric Jean-Louis in the 9. Ricky Thompson, they've got the transfer spots, or the redraw spots rather. Rock Aubin, Justin Chaput, and Blaine Nichols. 4th, 5th, and 6th. They've got the transfer spots. White on the field. One more time around for Bastien Caron with the 73. He'll bring it down the backstretch for the final time in heat number 3. We still have 1 more heat here in the Alexandria Home Hardware Pro Stock Division. Bastien Caron will take heat number 3 in the 73. Eric Jean-Louis will take 2nd in the 9. Ricky Thompson 3rd in the 1R. They go to the redraw. Rock Aubin in the 4, Blaine Nichols in the 22, and Justin Chaput in the 38. They finish 4th, 5th, 6th, and they take the transfer spots. So it'll be Gaucher and Vogel will go to the B main coming up a little bit later on, and we see the last heat. They'll be crossing the track. They'll be heading over to their pit. Tommy, you got the call of heat number 4, 4th and final heat, and our last heat of the evening before we go to B mains.
The last heat of the weekend.
Of the season.
Of the season 2, yeah.
Wow. There it is again, guys. We said at the end of our season, I don't know where the summer went.
4e qualification du côté des Pro Stock. Marc Pelado de Saint-Isidore va partir au premier rang. La voiture numéro 17. Et ce sera la dernière qualification en carrière, du moins à temps plein, là, pour Marc Lalonde dans la voiture numéro 8. Burton Ward va partir 3e, Jason Federley, Lucas Doyon, Danny Larose, Sid Armour Jr. et Alex Lebrun au départ. Cette fois-ci, on est prêt. Pelado à l'intérieur, Marc Lalonde à l'extérieur. Dans les virages 3 et 4, et on lance cette qualification chez les Pro Stock. Départ canon là, pour Marc Lalonde qui vient prendre la première position derrière. Pelado à l'extérieur, Ward va tenter l'intérieur, Federley complètement au large. Lucas Doyon dans le 169 est maintenant 4e. On vous rappelle les 6 premiers qualifiés pour la finale. Les autres devront passer par une consolation. Le professeur Marc Lalonde qui mène toujours cette qualification après 2 tours. Qualification présentée par l'équipe de course Federley en mémoire de Nancy Federley. Position qui demeurait inchangée là, alors que à l'avant, mais Alex Lebrun, lui, est venu se placer en 6e position. Virage numéro 3. Burton Ward très poli là, au volant de la voiture 28 pour éviter le contact avec Pelado. Drapeau jaune, la voiture 81 là, de Danny Larose qui s'était retourné là, dans le droit arrière. Je les amène au jaune alors qu'on venait de passer la mi-course. 4 tours de compléter, 4 tours à faire pour Marc Lalonde. On profite pour remercier tous les gens qui se sont déplacés pour cette 3e et dernière soirée du Canadian Super Dirt Weekend. On salue également les gens qui nous écoutent présentement là, par la voie de FloRacing. Les voitures sont replacées. On va être prêt à relancer cette épreuve de qualification chez les Pro Stock. Présenté par Next Level Home Improvement. On est parti cette fois-ci. Burton Ward connaît un bon départ. Vient prendre la 2e position. Attention derrière, on se bouscule. Sid Armour Jr. à l'intérieur de Pelado pour la 3e position. Cinq tours de complété pour Lalonde. Ward maintenant 2e. Contact entre Ward et Pelado là, entre les virages 1 et 2. Sid Armour est 4e devant Lucas Doyon, Jason Federley, Alex Lebrun et Danny Larose. Alex Lebrun là, qui se retrouve à l'extérieur du circuit en mesure de repartir par lui-même. On demeure au vert. Drapeau blanc pour Marc Lalonde. On est au dernier tour. Va se présenter dans les virages 3 et 4. Il viendra remporter la victoire. Marc Lalonde l'emporte dans cette 4e et dernière qualification du côté des Pro Stock. Burton Ward termine 2e. Marc Pelado au 3e rang devant Sid Armour. Jason Federley, Danny Larose, Lucas Doyon plutôt qui est qualifié pour la finale et Danny Larose. Alex Lebrun là, qui a quitté le circuit avec 2 tours à faire avec des problèmes. On se prépare maintenant pour le B-Main du côté des modifiés.
Thanks a lot, Tommy. And JLB Heating and Cooling 358 Modified Division B main set to roll out onto the field. We got 18 cars, and we are taking 5. We've got Jackson Gill from Annapolis, New York. Will go away up the pole with the 60. Kevin Amell on the outside pole with the 13. Thomas Cook from out of Ogdensburg, New York with the 35 inside the second row. Tristan Draper in the 17 goes away on the outside of row number 2. 88J of Justin Sear from out of Cornwall inside of row 3. Outside